What's up, guys? Welcome to Actually Adultish. My name's Nina, one of your hosts.
And I'm Christina, your other host.
And I'm Kaylin, your other host.
Welcome back, and thank you so much to everybody who has been supporting us so far. It means the world to us. Thanks to all of our subscribers. If you haven't already, you should definitely subscribe on iTunes and or Stitcher. As usual, we're always taking requests for topics or any questions you want us to answer on the podcast. You can send those in on our website, actuallyadultish.com, or you can email us, actuallyadultish@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at actuallyadult. You should also like our Facebook page if you want to get updates. That's facebook.com/actuallyadultish. And leave us a rating and review. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. If you like this show, make sure that you're telling all of your family and friends and forcing them to listen to the podcast, because the podcast is the best, and just podcasts in general. I was actually listening to a very interesting, one of my favorite podcasts is Stassi's podcast from, Stassi from Vanderpump Rules. Do you watch that? Mm-mm. Well, she interviewed Chad from
I heard you listening to that today.
Chad
funny.
was on her podcast recently, and I listened to it this morning, and it was really interesting to hear his perspective. Meanwhile, have you heard all this stuff in the press with Jordan and JoJo?
What's going on?
Just like all this stuff that, like, I guess she met him before, and it's just all a lie, and they're just all apparently just together for money. And Chad was saying that the reason that Aaron Rodgers doesn't talk to Jordan is that Jordan was like a drug addict, and the family used Aaron's money to like clean up his habit, to like cover it because he got in trouble.
How does Chad know everything?
I don't know.
He knows everything about every contestant.
He says that he has files on all the contestants.
How did he get that?
But it was really weird because listening to him talk on Stassi's podcast, I actually kind of like him.
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like he is like too real to be on TV.
I know. That's why he's depicted as like the bad guy.
Yeah. And to listen to what they're saying about the way that the producers edit the show, like they edited Bachelor in Paradise to make it look like he shit his pants, like when he didn't. He just like passed out drunk and like was changing his, he had the same pair of, he brought two of the same pair of like shorts, like
wow.
Like
no, but like it's funny because like whenever he explains himself in interviews, like people are silent, like the other people around him are silent because they don't know how to respond because he's telling the truth.
Yeah, he is super real.
He's super real.
No, and he admits he's like no, I was super out of line with X, Y, and Z, but on other things, like we were even saying, we were watching, we're like, everything he's saying is true.
Yeah. He's like, what am I doing? I'm just like, I'm standing here.
Yeah.
Like, and people are blaming him for something he's doing. Was he like serious in the interview, or was he like trying to be funny?
No, he was being serious.
Okay.
But yeah, it was interesting.
He has so much information. It's
I know.
so juicy.
I can't imagine having a file on everybody that's like intense.
I know.
Anyways, well, how was everybody's day?
Today I just stayed in the house, rested my face without makeup.
Yeah.
It was nice, and I just working on schoolwork because me and Kaylin are in summer session right now. It's my first day off, so it was nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be me tomorrow. I had a full day of work today, and I'm exhausted.
Yesterday was Kaylin's birthday.
Yeah,
that was fun.
It was really
Welcome
fun.
to your 20s, Kaylin.
She's 20.
It was fun.
We went out to dinner, and I ate way too much dessert, so I was bouncing off the walls all night.
I don't have any other friends that would like order like, almost a whole menu of desserts.
We have no shame. No shame at all.
So good though. But yeah, I don't think any of us slept last night.
No.
So I feel hungover. That's just how I feel. I feel like I had a really bad night last night. Like I went out, had a crazy wild night, and I just can't even function today.
No, lack of sleep does that to you.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
And then I went to the doctor this morning, got my nutrient drip, and then came home and napped and cleaned. And now here we are. So, sorry. I hate when people text me when we're podcasting. Okay. Today, what are we talking about?
Unhealthy friendships.
Very good, Nina. We're talking about unhealthy friendships. So we've asked you guys to send in your stories. We've got some juicy ones. So should we just kick it off?
Let's just jump into it.
Okay.
Question time.
Kaylin, you want to read the first one?
Sure. Okay, so this one's from Sarah. And Sarah says, 2 of my friends from school don't speak anymore, and we are all going to live together this year along with 4 other girls. Basically, one of them, Lisa, will do anything to please the boys she likes, including backstab her friends. She told the other friends, Lauren, boyfriend's best friend, that she was dancing and flirting with other guys at a party and stirred up all this drama between Lauren and her boyfriend for no reason. She never apologized, and then I got pissed because she never takes responsibility for her actions and never admits fault. Now I'm in a weird middleman spot, and I don't know how to act this year in our apartment.
That's really awkward. That's so annoying when people fuck up the living situation.
I know. It's like 2 weeks before moving in, you guys don't hang out with each other.
Yeah.
Because you're already locked in.
I hope they're not in the same bedroom.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's even more awkward.
That would be even...
Friendships when you live together are even more delicate than like friendships when you don't, because you can't make it awkward. You live with them.
Yeah, living together is real.
It's real. Tense. You'll like stress yourself out if you're always in that like state of uncomfortableness.
Yeah, always tense and always stressed, because even though you're not directly involved, you can feel the tension between 2 other people.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
real, and it doesn't make a safe environment or peaceful.
Well, okay. So this girl Lisa will do anything to please the boys she likes, including backstab her friends. I can't handle bitches like this. Like, you don't backstab your friends to impress a boy. And why does that impress the boy?
Yeah.
What does that say about the guy?
She probably just needed something to say that was like juicy and like make him pay attention, like get his attention.
Well,
and that was just what she came up with.
This is so pathetic. Well, why are you friends with the kind of person that will do anything to please a boy she likes in the first place? Sorry. Like, that's not a quality.
Well, you're stuck because you're living with her anyways. But like, as far as the middleman spot thing goes, like, I would not play that part. I would be straight up. Yeah, that's fucked up. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not.
Same, because then you're gonna be living with them with like this awkward tension, and it's better to get it out of the way. Like,
it's better just to know where everyone stands,
and also just to like say it out loud so that it's out there. Yeah, and like no one's like trying to like. Yeah.
I'm like a big fan of confrontation, and I feel as though this is the time to have a powwow in the living room and be like, this is what Lisa did. Lauren, how do you like have everybody in the room and everybody just say their shit, and you guys have to figure out a way to live together peacefully.
It's like that night when you do that, it's going to be shitty. You're all going to be mad and crying and yelling and whatever, but honestly, it's better than living with pent-up tension.
Otherwise, it's going to be passive-aggressive for the entire year.
And that's the worst.
That's just...
And you don't have to like each other. You don't have to like... That's okay, but you need to be on the same page.
I think you need to tell this girl that she needs to apologize. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's so messed up to just like try and hurt
someone else's relationship for literally no reason.
Yeah, I don't even understand how that would benefit you.
Yeah. Also,
am I missing something? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How does that benefit you to like fuck up somebody else's relationship?
It's also like this he said, she said drama. So you want to make sure like that she actually did it. Like maybe don't even like approach her with like accusatory. Maybe like ask her, and like if she's gonna lie about it, then that's another story. But. Right? Like, you don't want to, like, go up to her and be like, I know you did this.
Well, like, unless what if she did?
It kind of depends on how you know. Because if you just heard it through word of mouth of someone else, then that's just as bad as the girl.
Yeah. Well, yeah, find out, make sure it's true.
Yeah, like, if the boyfriend's best friend said, Lauren told me this, then... It's like direct from the source. Yeah. It's not, I heard that Lauren told so-and-so.
I mean, but I just feel like people like that need kind of a talking to.
No, they do. And it'll be awkward, but it's better after.
Yeah.
Just like get the awkwardness over with instead of living in it forever.
Yeah. Agreed. Sorry, Sarah, because
It's going to be a tough night for you.
Okay, should we go to the next one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, Nina, do you want to read it?
Sure. One of my frenemies who used to be my best friend told the guy that I liked to stop talking to me. She told him that I was leading him on and was talking to multiple other guys, which are both false accusations. When I confronted her about intruding in my relationship because she knew nothing about it, she said she was trying to look out for him. She ended up hooking up with that guy a few weeks later. And this is from Nicole.
Oh my
Jeez.
God.
Look,
Bitch move.
What a bitch.
Okay, I actually
this belongs on reality
had
TV.
something very similar happen to me in high school. One of my best friends like told the guy I liked that I hated him and all this stuff, and then he just stopped talking to me and I didn't know why.
Are you still friends with this girl?
Well, what happened? I didn't know it was happening at the time. I just thought randomly he just started hating me, and I was so confused, and he wasn't talking to me anymore. And then months later, I found out that they were dating, and I was like, "What? Wait, what? What the fuck?" I was so confused. And then she had been dating him secretly for months, I guess, and I didn't know.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like, I don't know if they were like full on dating, like, but they were like talking and like, whatever. And I was so hurt. I was so hurt because I felt so stupid and everybody else knew but me.
That is the worst feeling in the world when someone that like used to be your best, like a friend, does that to you.
I know, when they cross that line to the
When they
person
know
that you
full
liked.
well, like you like him.
Yeah.
And oh no.
And
No.
it was, well, and it was confusing. Well, because this is the thing. It's like she knew I liked him, but I didn't want a relationship, so I didn't want to date him. But at the same time, I wouldn't expect her to.
There's a line
You
there.
know, like we were still, it was like complicated. But anyways, I was just so hurt. And I said, we need to meet up. We met up. I said, it's fucking fucked up what you did. I'm so pissed. I don't want to talk to you. Don't contact me. If I ever want to talk to you again, then I'll tell you. And we went a few months and we never talked. And then in the end, she ended up she texted me and she was like, you don't have to respond, but I've done so much thinking and I have so much to say, and like, can we meet up? You don't have to say anything. I just want you to listen. And I was like, fine. So we met up and I just didn't say anything, and she sat there and basically had this whole list of all the ways she was a shitty friend and what she was going to do to change, and like just basically saying that she realized how horrible it was and yada yada yada, basically begging me to be her friend again. And then I was like, and I did miss her, but I was still just so pissed and I didn't trust her anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, so then I was like, okay, we can be on friend. Like, I put her on like probation. I was basically like, because we had been having other problems on our friendship as well. Like, it was very one-sided. I felt like the whole time I was putting in all the effort. And so I was like, you're on like friend probation. Basically, she had to like prove herself to me. And, you know, and it was kind of funny. It was kind of just like the next few months, it was like, she was my little like bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what it took, because I was like, you have to prove, like, I've been such a good friend to you, and then you totally fucked me over. And it was just sad. And I haven't talked to him since.
Well, it just shows that you value you and her's relationship so much that you would give her a second chance. You would, forget, but you would forgive, but you wouldn't forget. And I think that's
if we
probably
hadn't
helped your relationship.
if we hadn't had so much history, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, well, it sounds like Nicole, she's calling this girl a frenemy. So it doesn't seem like they're the best of friends, and she trusts her anyway. So
she says she used to be her best friend.
Oh.
So like now they're not friends.
Well, now they're like frenemies.
Like, so it's somebody you've been best friends with for like a year. That's different than like, I mean, I was best friends with this person for like since I was like 10.
Yeah.
You know, so
and we're like, how old were you guys when this happened?
like 17.
Yeah. So it's like, we make stupid mistakes, and I think you worked it out the right way.
it's complicated. I mean, you have to decide how much that friendship is worth.
Exactly. And depends on what the other person says too.
Yeah.
Like they might
is
not.
she apologetic?
Yeah.
You know?
And you have to judge like how genuine they're being when they say things.
It can't just be one-sided.
What do you think about the guy in this situation? Like, I also feel like it's kind of fucked up that the guy just believed this other girl.
Yeah, I know. That's the worst.
Why didn't he come to her?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's
both also a problem. That's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
That's something we see on The Bachelor. Like when other girls talk, like on the actual Bachelor, when the guy's like dating all these girls, when like one of the girls will say something about another girl and he'll believe it right away.
Yeah.
Like, but it's nice. Like Ben, for example, like he actually like went and asked people. He was a good guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's so messed up. I mean, she doesn't really say how she feels about the guy after this. I wouldn't talk to the guy again,
I wouldn't talk to him either.
So that's just really sad to me.
And I wouldn't immediately like forgive her.
Yeah.
Like that's not
It's
something
so
you
hard for me
immediately
because
forgive.
I read this and I think my first instinct is like, fuck that bitch. Like that's so fucked up. Don't talk to her again. But then I'm like, I was in the situation. And it's so hard. Like well, depending on how much
what
history
it
you
was
guys
like,
have, you know?
And like how good were the good times? Is it better? Does it outweigh what she did?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I hope that you confronted her. That like, she did. When I confronted her about intruding on the relationship, she said she was just trying to look out for him. But that doesn't. So she's spreading. That doesn't even make sense because it's not true, right?
Well, yeah.
And
basically, she's putting her relationship with him over hers.
Yeah.
looking out for him,
Exactly.
and she's just throwing you under the bus.
Well, I'm hoping she later confronted her about hooking up with him later.
Yeah.
Like I know
you need to.
This is another issue. These girls like get people getting jealous of their friends. Like,
Get over yourself.
are you really gonna hook? What do you guys think is the whole girl code thing with like dating your friends' exes? What's your opinion?
Like honestly, there's so many fish in the sea that I wouldn't.
I would never.
I wouldn't. Even if it was like they had a thing, like if they had a thing, I can't because what if I end up with that guy and then my best friend's at their wedding, but then they have like a connection still? Like I can't do that.
I would never even like think
I wouldn't either.
about it.
It's so taboo to me. And like if I ever, whenever, that's like one of the nightmares that I have is like my best friend going for my boyfriend that I've been with forever. Even my ex. Like I've had a boyfriend that I dated for 6 years, and if any one of my friends ever dated him, that would be
like of all the people.
Of all the people, yeah.
But I also feel like it also depends on what age you're talking about, because I mean, for me, I always felt that way, but I know in high school, everyone was dating each other, and I was like, ew, you guys are all just dating each other. But at the same time, I got it because there weren't that many other people to pick from, because you're in a bubble of high school, and there's only.
And I think it changes as you get older and as you mature too.
Yeah. So like, who is still in your life? Like, if the girl that your ex is dating now, like you knew her like in middle school and don't really talk to her anymore, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
For me. But if it's like the best friend that's still in your life, that's not okay.
And like a college relationship versus like a high school relationship, or one that spanned over both, like they're all totally different in like the terms of how you can handle it.
Yeah. I just think that's fucked up to go after like the guy that your friend,
especially within that time period. Like it wasn't even like a few years, it was probably within like weeks or like days that, you know, all this happened.
I know.
Or a few weeks. She says a few weeks. So.
And it also just makes me sad. I mean, for me, when this type of thing happened to me, it was especially hard for me because I'm not the kind of person that I'm very like picky. I don't like that many people. I don't have like crushes on that many people. So for me to like have feelings for somebody was like a big deal. And I don't date that many people. It's really rare for me. So it's like really, I'm not like the kind of girl who's running around dating everybody. Like, so you know, you just like knocked off my like one potential chance.
And when this kind of thing happens to you, since you don't date often, it's like now you're kind of scared to date anyone else because
I got like PTSD.
Exactly.
I straight up got PTSD, and I was like, I never am gonna tell anybody else that I have like feelings for somebody.
No, you
would just gonna steal.
No.
This is
him.
that girl's actions, that's how much it affected you. It wasn't just a hookup for her, but it affected you in that way in your future, I guess, outlook on relationships.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's messed up.
That's really sad. Sorry, Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read the next one. One of my best friends always competes with me and it bugs the shit out of me. Every time something good happens to me and I tell her about it, she tries to one-up me instead of just being happy for me. She always copies things I do or ideas I have. I'll tell her my plans to do something and then a few days later she does the same thing but acts like it was her idea. It really bothers me because not everything is a competition, but she makes it one. Other than that, our friendship is great, but I don't know what to do. It makes me not want to tell her about anything anymore because when something good happens to me and I want to be excited about it, she always steals the moment. That's anonymous.
Yeah. So for me, like, a friendship like this becomes toxic when you're not able to share the happy moments in your life. And that's what friendships are about, you know, being able to share with each other what's going on in your life. And when that stops, what is the friendship about anymore? Like, what do you guys talk about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had so many friends like this. I've had so many relationships like this. And I've talked to you guys about this. Like, I feel like I thought it was normal to just always want to not tell my friends the good stuff because
Did you say not?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because they might kind of steal it from me. And it was like so weird to me that I can openly tell you guys things and I'm not paranoid that you're gonna steal my ideas or try and take me down somehow. And that's pathetic.
Or like discredit what you're saying.
Yeah,
Or
that's so hard.
Did you
to find.
Were you doing that to, like, did you have this outlook with all your friendships and then when you suddenly met like really good friends and you stopped that, or were you able to separate, like, oh, these are the friends that I shouldn't tell and these are the friends that I can tell?
I mean, I really wasn't able to separate it for the longest time. Like right now I can because I know I can tell you guys, but before, I think what ended up happening was I just kind of closed myself off to everybody because time after time after time, every time I trusted somebody with, like, it wasn't like I'm giving anyone crazy information. I'm just like, oh, this happened to me today. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I would get, like,
I know. It's
then you would say something to take it down. And I was just like, okay, I guess I just can't share good things with people, I guess.
I know. It's so dangerous because it can drift over into friendships that actually matter, even your family. Like, you stop sharing overall because, you know, this one person is like how she is.
Yeah, that's what happened. Like, it just drifted over into everything and I just became overall more shut off, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was, I had really good friends that it was like mutual, like the sharing of like these happy moments and our successes and getting things that we wanted and, you know, in life was happening. And then there was like, I think it was my roommate in the past that would do this to me, and she would just, everything I would say, it was always like a critical, like, like if I shared something, it was always critical, like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Or like, and so for me, everything was just being criticized. So I had to filter what I said around her. But it was very easy for me to separate it because I was grounded with other people and I only saw her, you know, when I was like in the room. So that was my experience.
People, it's so sad because these people make you feel insecure because they're so insecure and they're threatened by, why are so many people threatened by other people's success? Like, there's enough success to go around for everybody.
And I think that's the problem. I think there's this stupid like myth in our heads that's like, oh, well, if someone else is successful, that means there's like a spot of success is taken away from you. You know,
it's very true.
It's so not true, but I think people get sucked into thinking that way. And then as soon as their friends like, this big deal happened to me, or like I got this thing, or I'm doing this, and they automatically feel like, well, shit, like I didn't get that thing. Or
and
whatever.
That's such a selfish way to think.
It is.
Like,
it's so selfish.
I know people who literally that's how they think all the time, and it's just so selfish. It's like, get over yourself. It's not about you. Why can't you just be happy for your friend?
I think it bothers me the most when it like what you're doing with your life and what your friends doing with theirs are totally opposite. Yeah. And they still get, it's like,
I know what you mean.
You wouldn't give a shit if this happened to you. This doesn't mean anything.
Or they try to go into what you're doing and like try to like do whatever you're doing in your field when it's not even their part of their dreams, but they just
don't even
do
care
it to one up you.
Yeah.
That's like,
okay, one-upping in general, I can't do it. I can't handle it. It makes me so upset. And it's just like she said, it's not everything is not a competition. You know those people who one-up you on every little thing. Like it'll just be, it can be the tiniest thing, and you're just like,
literally the tiniest
I was
thing.
just making a comment. You don't need to.
Exactly.
I wasn't. You don't need to compare yourself. You know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm even more tired.
That was the example I was thinking of. I was thinking like if you casually say like, oh, I just really didn't sleep last night or something, and then someone else is like, oh yeah, well, I got 2 hours of sleep. It's like,
yeah, it's
I was just trying to like make some kind of conversation with you, but never mind.
Like I didn't realize it was a conversation. That's so exhausting. Okay, can we address the copying thing, because I want to talk about this, because this is something I'm really sensitive to, and I don't know if I'm just overly sensitive to it because I've always been this way, but I really, really hate when people copy me.
Well, the thing about it,
I think there's a way to copy.
Yeah, whenever you tell me the things that people copy from you, it is kind of like a competition, like the way I see it, you know, like the stories you've told me. But like I don't, for me, it's like a form of like I'm flattered, but I don't get the same degree of like my friends copying me in that way. But yours is like a little bit severe.
It's like, okay, to me, I just think there's a way to copy someone. Like I'll see people and I'll like want to copy them. So and if I'm gonna copy them, I'm gonna tell them, be like, that's so cool what you just did. I totally want to copy you.
Yeah.
And then
give them
when
credit.
you do it, you always give them credit. Be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like I saw blah, blah, blah doing this, and like it's so cool. You know, versus like, what pisses me off is when, say, I have an idea, or I'm planning on doing something, and then 3 days later I found out that you did the exact same thing, and you're trying to kind of just casually do it and not and pass it off as your own.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? You know, that's bullshit.
I think the difference, literally, what we're describing is the difference between like being inspired by something and like wanting to do it because someone you admire did it, and like going after it in your own way, and just flat out, okay, I want that idea first, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like one is like trying to, it's like if you're trying to be sneaky about it, I don't know.
It's a red flag.
I feel like it's if you're trying to hide it from the person, then
obviously
you're being
something
fucked up.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable enough being like, I love that. Like that's so cool. Can
exactly.
Can I do so? You know, like
I feel like even something small, like I feel like Nina and I will go shopping and we'll like pick out the same shirt, right, or something, or like say like I see her picking out a shirt and I'm like, oh my god, that's so cute. I'm gonna be like, wait, that's so cute, I want to copy you. Like I'll say that, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I'll be like, okay, one of us has to buy it so that the other can borrow it.
versus like if I saw Nina pick up a shirt I like, and then
you went back later.
Yeah, I went back later and got it, and then I just didn't say
shady.
anything, and then I wore it in a picture before she took a picture in it.
Gosh.
You know, something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a silly example, but I mean, I know this makes sense
girls,
to me.
I think girls actually
people do this all the time, and it's those. I feel like the little things irk me even more so because it's so silly.
Like if you mention it in like a conversation and then later on you see it on their social media.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
oh my gosh.
Or if like, for instance, if you like say an idea or like a fact that you knew and then they mention it and take it as their own. Mm-hmm. And you slightly, it's just because of your like, you know, knowledge that you have and you just shared it.
Yeah.
And now they're sharing it as their own.
Okay. I had this one friend who used to always, I kind of like lost this ability, but like back in the day, I had some like really good one-liners. Like I was kind of like known for like my one-liners, and I like I'm not like that funny anymore. But anyways,
you are.
No, but
so
I don't know. It's different. And I had this friend who would always, I would say very unique one-liners, and then she would say them in front of other people and like act like she made up the joke,
and they would all laugh.
Yeah, they would all laugh, and I'd be like,
that's pathetic.
I said that to you last night when we were just talking to each other.
Did you say that one time?
I called her out on it multiple times, and she was like, and she would turn out like super red, or like she'd be like, she was like, you know, like, and
that's
I'm like,
so funny.
you think I'm not gonna call you out on that? Like that's just something that's so stupid.
Well, one time I posted a photo of myself and then I put, what did I say? I said, you don't live in LA until, you don't live in LA
caption.
until you or like, do you even live in LA if you don't take pictures against street art? That's what I said.
Yeah.
And then my friend commented and said, you stole my Facebook caption. And then I looked at it and I was like, it was very similar, but I didn't steal it. Like, I didn't go on your profile and like look at it. Like, I just, great minds think alike, you know?
Well,
I'm sorry. And also, that's kind of like a basic thing to
differences.
say, is that there's a lot of like street art around LA.
Yeah, well, and then
And that was an accident. I didn't
But that's
copy.
the other thing about copying is like then you can't be so sensitive to it that you think everybody's copying you.
Yeah.
Like there are some things that like, okay, we live in 2016. No idea is original. Let's be real.
No, seriously.
No statement is we're all plagiarizing
Especially
each
in
other.
LA.
Yeah, like you know,
We're all basic.
I don't know. There's something that really bugs me, and especially
And it's difficult for me to hear that because like I'm not a copier at all. And like for someone to accuse me, it's just like
I don't like when people
like I'm not
copy
it's not
me.
a big deal or anything. You know, I'm not like losing sleep over it, but it was just like, wow, I really like how do you like I didn't copy someone, you know?
I think what bugs me most is when I feel like if I have like an idea and I'm like really proud of myself and I'm excited about it and then I share it because I'm hoping my friend will be happy for me and like cool, like be like, that's cool. And maybe I like want to get them in on it too or something and join me in my little endeavor.
Yeah.
And it really hurts my feelings for them to go and like copy, you know, because I was really excited about it.
Do you
like,
have an example?
Not one that I want to say on the podcast.
Okay. Well,
you
maybe
know?
in like 10 years. we
But
can
you know what I'm
mention
saying?
that.
Like,
Yeah.
like what I would be really pissed if I told a friend about my idea for this podcast and then
they did it before.
oh
us.
yeah, and like and I was like, oh, I'm gonna launch it at this time. You know, I barely told, and I didn't tell anybody about the
and that was
podcast for
smart
this
of you.
reason.
Right.
That's smart of you to
Because
do.
I was so paranoid. I was like, someone's gonna be like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, and then they're just gonna one day pop up and like start
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
And like, it's like everyone is welcome to start a podcast. You're more than welcome to, but it's like that backhanded like. You're only doing this because you heard I was gonna do it, and like you're trying to be competitive.
And you know, that's when
It's like what's the intention? I guess
Exactly.
is the difference.
See, for me, honestly, whenever I have anyone who somewhat resembles this type of person, I cut them off. I don't
Yeah,
care how great my
same.
friendship is.
Yeah.
Fuck you. We're done.
Because I already have better friends already. Like
I don't
you
need
guys.
you. I don't
You
care
guys don't
if
do that
you
to
are an
me.
angel other than this, one thing.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Exactly.
I can't
don't.
handle
It's
it.
like Kaylin.
So you
it's,
think that this girl should cut this girl off?
yeah,
I would.
Especially the competitiveness. Like,
Well,
how
do you think
live in
she
that
should?
environment?
Do you think she should just cut her off, or
She can tell her
should
why.
she approach her first?
I think she should tell her.
Should
so that,
she like give her an option and change? Like, what do you do? Do
I
you be
mean,
like,
it's hard to change people's nature, especially like at this age.
The issue with this is I think if you do say that, approach them and say like, hey, like this bothers me, and she does say I'll change, she's just going to make it sneakier.
Yeah. And not only that, but it's just good to give her a reason before you cut them out, because then she's going to think you're psycho, and you don't want her
Yeah.
to think that. You have a valid
you definitely
reason.
should tell her, but you need to be like, look, you're like a toxic presence in my life. Like
Yeah.
I can't
If you're-
handle this.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah? It's just, I mean, it's hard.
It's kind of like it's like a breakup
I know.
in a way. It's we talk about this all the time when we get like breakup questions, and we're like, yeah, dump him, and it's really easy to say, but
Yeah.
in reality, it's hard to sacrifice a
and I feel
relationship.
I feel like also like the copying thing comes from people that are just like lazy to not come up with their own ideas or be inspired by things in their life. And
They're
that they have to-
insecure. They want the easy
Exactly.
way out.
And then whenever you copy things, it doesn't come from your heart, so it's not as it's not as fresh as it would if it came from yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just rereading this over and over, but it took me so long. Like she said this sentence, it makes me not want to tell her about anything anymore, because when something good happens to me, I want her to be excited about it, she always steals the moment. Like I felt that way about so many people in my life, and it took me so long to realize it took me way too long to realize that if you have friends who aren't happy for you, like they're not your friends.
Yeah.
But I just
Right.
feel like so many people now are just not happy for each other.
No.
And that almost became the
They're
norm.
really
And that's
not.
why it literally took me until probably this year to realize that all these people are shitty ass friends, because people really aren't happy for you once you succeed.
My reason for cutting off a friend like this is that if it changes you in any way, like negatively, if it makes you change your attitude towards not only this person but like to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a good reason to break up with.
You
this
shouldn't be
person.
afraid to share good news.
Mhm.
No.
Don't be afraid.
You
to,
shouldn't.
Yeah, don't
It's
close
stupid.
up.
Like reading that sentence, like if you like looking into that and seeing someone say, I don't want to tell someone good things. I want to be
Yeah.
excited, but I can't because she steals the moment. Like, I'm sorry, that person should not be in your life.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Kaylin, do you want to do the next one?
Sure. Okay, so this is another anonymous one. I've always been a person who puts others' needs before my own. Sometimes it bites me in the butt. I've noticed one of my friendships is very one-sided. She only calls me when she needs something, but when I ask for a small favor, she doesn't respond to my texts or calls. One example is when I've given her rides during traffic time to work because her car was in the shop for 2 whole weeks. Then I needed a ride to the airport and she never responded. When we're together, we have such a good time, but it's difficult for me when I'm always the one giving and she's always on the receiving end. Should I confront her or just let it go?
Confront her, because it sounds like it's just about favors and stuff. And if the relationship's good, then see if like this change in, you know, I guess not like both of you guys giving and receiving, see if that change affects your relationship, because if it does, then she's definitely like using you.
That's what I
Yeah.
had to do with the friend I was talking about earlier. How we had a lot of problems. That was the thing. I felt like it was one-sided. I was doing everything, and then whenever I needed something, you know, she was never there for me. And it took me, so I just decided, I said, I'm gonna stop. It's kind of what you were saying last week about how Ailey was saying, you know, I wonder if I just stopped making any effort, which friends would still be there who would put the effort back in. That's basically what I was like, I'm not putting any effort. I'm not texting you first. I'm not inviting you anywhere. I'm just going to sit here and wait for you to come to me and see what happens. And that's like a shitty thing to do normally, but I think that needs to be done when it's always the other way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you need to make that person see that they need to appreciate you. Like, I think that a lot of people just, it's also partially your fault. I mean, this is literally, I identify with this so much, and I know that it's my fault because I let people take advantage of me.
Right.
Over and over again.
You have to
You know?
learn how to stand up for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, and the fact that you recognize that there's more effort being put on your side, it shouldn't be that way, because when the friendship's mutual, you won't even recognize who's giving what and who's receiving what, because it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all
No.
in harmony.
I totally, and I've lost a lot of friends. When I went through my big health scare, I had one friend who was one of my best friends, and she had been calling me, texting me. Basically in college, we kind of lost touch, but it was one of those relationships where if she called me, texted me, I'd be there for her in a second.
Yeah.
And she was having a lot of relationship problems, and so she would call me in the middle of the night, text me in the middle of the night out of the blue and be like, I need someone to talk to. And I'd sit there for hours on the phone with her and be there for her, and I was trying to help her work through her problems. And like, I mean, I was really there for her. I was taking a lot of time out of my day, and it was very, and then my health, like, shit hit the fan. Like, it was so bad, and I needed somebody to talk to. And I said, and I remember texting her, and I'd be like, I really need to talk to somebody. Like, can you talk to me? And she never responded.
Wow.
And literally, I haven't talked to her since then. Except for,
Don't blame
I
you.
talked to her a year later, and she apologized. But that was
she
like
have-
bullshit. Because I was like, I've literally been listening to you whine to me for 3 weeks about this and that. And then when I needed you, you she didn't even know that anything, like, what was wrong. I didn't even have the chance to be like, it wasn't even like I explained what was going on. And then she was like, not really giving me any good advice. It was like, she literally just didn't reply to me.
Did she have a reason? Like, did she try to explain herself? I mean,
No.
there's really no excuse for that,
No,
but you know,
you can't say anything.
I was just wondering.
It's just bizarre. I just think it's bullshit. And that's kind of an extreme example. I feel like most people don't just like straight up not reply.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still do have friends like that. Like, I'll be like, hey, how are you? And I'll send back like a short little like, oh, I'm okay, I'm doing this and that, how are you? And they send back this huge long thing. And
They
then
needed
and
you.
then yeah, and then I, you know, go through all the emotional support thing, whatever, blah blah, and then I'll say something like that's going on with me, and then that they
and
don't
they're like,
respond.
oh, haha, that's cool. I gotta go.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that was so
one-sided.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And that's bullshit. If you're the kind of person who does that, shame on you. I'm sorry. Shame on you.
Fool me once.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay.
If you can't be there for someone else, then I mean, that's gonna bite you in the ass.
You have to take care of the friendships that like are very giving.
Yeah.
Because you have to give too.
Yeah.
You're gonna have no one that.
I think it's just hard for me. I literally don't understand it, because when I care for somebody, I want to be there for them.
Yeah.
And so I literally can't comprehend it when I think I'm in like a loving relationship with somebody and they don't want to show that back for me. Like, don't you want to be there for me? Don't you want to
Right.
listen to what I'm going through? Like,
Exactly. And like back to what I was saying, like if any person like changes your kind-hearted nature into like someone that's more closed off to people, then that's a person that you need to cut off to your life, because that's not how you should be. And you're gonna find people like I found Christina and Kaylin who are like very similar to me with their, you know, with just being a good friend.
yeah.
And that's reminds me that I can continue being like this without, you know, having other people like that in my life.
It's hard to find.
Yeah.
It really is.
But you got to keep them close when you do find them.
Yeah.
They're gold.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you should. I think she should confront her, and I
Yeah.
think she should be like, you need to step up your game, or this relationship's done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I would do.
No,
And then if she doesn't step up her game immediately, and it shouldn't even just be, I feel like when this happens, it shouldn't even just be like, this needs to be an equal partnership. I feel like for a while she needs to pull more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. Get it back in balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't do that, then she's not worth it. Like, I will fight for friendships for people I care about. And if she's not fighting to be your friend, then
Then
you can do better.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Okay. Should we go to the next one?
Yep.
Nina, do you want to read this one?
Sure. This one, I think this one's anonymous as well. It says, hi girls, a really close friend of mine is hardly eating anything and she is obsessed with running for hours every day. I'm really worried about her, but I don't know what to do because I've talked to her about it before and she denies it. She told me that she only runs a few times a week, but I keep finding out that she's lying about what she's doing and going on runs instead. She also tells me about all this food that she eats, but then I find out from her roommates that she doesn't eat all day long and just eats dinner. I don't know what to do because I don't want to abandon her, but every time I confront her about it, she denies it. It's like talking to a wall. I can't even tell if she's trying to hide from me or if she's completely delusional and actually thinks it's okay to do what she's doing. I know it's really okay. It's hard to see a friend
This is complicated.
who's destroying herself
Yeah.
and like you're trying to help her, but she's not responding in a way that would help her.
Yeah. I mean, this one is so, you guys know this is so like close to home for me because
Yeah.
this is like my
Yeah.
passion. Like this issue of like under eating, over exercising is like, I want to change the world and end this epidemic. But it's so hard because it's like she's saying that this girl does confront her about it, and she needs professional help.
Yeah.
And that's like, it sounds really harsh, but I've been in this situation before, like as the friend who's watching someone else do this. There's a point where you have to walk away after you've said it so many times. There's nothing else you can do.
But what do you do if you walk away and like something really bad happens? Because like no one's like
It would have happened whether or not you were there, because she's not listening to you anyways.
I mean,
What kind of professional like would you get like is legally allowed to get involved with this kind of person?
she needs to be seeing probably a therapist and a nutritionist at least. I mean, when I had exercise addiction and I wasn't eating I was eating a fucking lot, but I wasn't absorbing it. But, I mean, I needed to see a therapist and a nutritionist. You need somebody. Sometimes people need a slap in the face. Sometimes people really don't realize they need an outside third-party person to tell them what's up. Sometimes
they don't know.
because she's probably fucking crazy and thinks that if you're saying this to her, she probably thinks, oh, my friend's jealous of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's how fucked up this world is. And I mean, I know for me, everybody was like, Christina, you're losing a lot of weight. We're worried about you. And I was like, I know. But I wasn't really taking it super seriously until I had like these random people. I needed multiple people from outside. I need multiple nutritionists and multiple therapists to tell me like, what you're doing, you could like literally die.
For your situation, was it your family or friends that were pulling all these professionals into your life, or did you go out seeking that?
Well, that's the difference, is I was seeking them.
Okay.
The thing was, I mean, that was the weird thing. Like, I was asking for help. Sorry, I'm gonna get another text from my boss right now. So, I was like asking for help, and my family and friends weren't really like responsive to it, which was like the opposite.
Literally the opposite, yeah.
And that's why it's also hard for me to identify, because I was desperate for help because I was scared. And so it's really hard when somebody doesn't want help, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and it, again, like, I know walking away like cold turkey is hard and it feels mean. And if it makes you feel better, sometimes you have to like leverage your friendship and say, look, if you don't start seeing a therapist, I can't be around you. I can't watch you do this to yourself.
That's a good point. That's a good way to do it.
Like, and you need to like make sure that they know you're saying these things and you're doing this because you care so much, and you can't sit there and watch. I mean, because the flip side of like what you were saying, like, well, what if something bad happens? What if something bad happens now?
Yeah, I know. And this is what this is just like a general thing that I get really irritated with, is people don't take it seriously if it doesn't show through your weight. But you can like look like you're a normal weight and be under eating and over exercising and like kill yourself.
Right.
Like, you know, like I feel like people don't take it seriously unless they're
you're
like,
literally not built for that.
Yeah.
Because it could show up in other forms.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
You don't realize how easy it is to fall in a like trap, or one day you wake up in a hospital, whether or not you think that you're, you know, I feel like there's just, I know so many people who are under eating and over exercising, and nobody says anything to them, or nobody's worried about it because they don't look like extremely underweight.
Yeah.
And like,
because like society has really like driven us to think that weight is like equals health, right?
Yeah.
It's like an indicator of health, but
And
there's
it's
so
not
many
at
other
all.
factors
It's
that
not
go
at
into
all.
it.
Like, you're just gonna, this girl's gonna collapse. It's so hard. Oh my God. But what do you guys think about like talking to parents?
I am in full support of
Or
going
other
to parents
friends.
or
Like,
other friends.
Friends, I would go to friends first.
You-
And it, well,
I'd
and see,
be more
this is kind of an
comfortable.
age thing too, because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
when I was in this situation, I was in high school.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay.
when I made the decision to be like, I'm not watching you do this. I'm not saying the same thing to you over and over. I told her parents,
Yeah.
and her parents got her help. But she
happens-
was,
yeah.
17 and didn't really have a choice. And so now, like where we are now, if it's someone who's, living on their own, has roommates, those would be the people I would reach out to. Whoever is like living with her or who sees her the most, like friends,
Yeah.
that's who I would go to. But I don't, like at this point, if you're not telling people and you're like telling people who you think can help, then you're just doing a disservice to her anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's literally an addiction. It's like anything else.
Yeah.
Like if someone was an alcoholic, would you not tell any,
That's a good point, because like people don't realize it is an addiction. It's
Yeah.
not just alcohol and drugs that you have to go to like Alcoholic Anonymous for. There's
right. It's like you
treatment
you
for
might
the
you need that
same
like
addiction.
intervention of friends
Yeah.
sometimes to
And-
push you.
If someone's listening to this, and I mean, they have programs that are like AA, but for like disordered eating and disordered body image, like that can be helpful. I know people who that's how they got through recovery and realized,
Yeah.
like, I'm just saying this from the flip side. If this is you and you're obsessed with running and you're under eating, it's hard to admit to yourself. It is so hard to admit to yourself that there's something wrong, but you'll get so much more support once you do, you know.
And realizing that the people around you want what's best for you. They're, you know, they're not telling you like, oh, you need to stop running so much. It's not telling you because they're jealous or because like literally anything other than they just want you to be healthy and okay.
Well, and you should want that for yourself. Like, you're ruining your health. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, don't you value yourself enough, your body enough, your life enough to...
There's no excuse for this kind of behavior. Like, either you should respect yourself enough to get help, or you should at least respect what everyone else is telling you. That's like a whole nother issue. Like, if you can't do it for you, but if you can't do it for you, do it for the friends who are telling you.
Your friend in
you're scaring me. Like,
your friend in high school, like what was she doing?
She was, well, exactly this. She turned crazy anorexic, like looked like a skeleton.
Did people notice at school?
Yeah, her parents pulled her out.
Oh shit.
She was like hospitalized.
That's so sad.
And now
was she exercising too, or was it just a
no,
food
she was
thing?
exercising too. And like her parents were like kind of aware of it, but and like would make her food and she would like hide it and like throw, you know, do stuff with it. And she wore big like baggy clothes, so you couldn't really tell unless like she wore a sports bra or something and you could see all of her.
Wow.
But after she got the help, now she's like you, Christina. Like, she's all about like, no, like you need to like do this to your body and like you can't do this. She like completely turned it around.
Yeah. Because you don't realize it's just funny how it takes like a near-death experience to make you realize
literally
how much the way you look or like all that shit does not matter. Like
exactly
it literally doesn't matter. No one at the end of the day, like, oh, I can't even. You guys know, they know. Kaylin and Nina have to listen to me rant about this shit all the time because I'm just so annoyed with it. But we can save that for rest.
Whole
So I
podcast.
think you need to tell her she needs help, and if
like
she's
have
not
a
gonna
serious
get it,
sit down conversation with her.
and if she's not gonna get it, then you can't continue your relationship because that can affect you too. That plays mind games with you too.
Yes,
We're all susceptible to it. Like, that can make you start thinking shit like, maybe I need to start running, and maybe I'm eating too much. Like, that plays weird mind tricks with you that
no, totally.
you might not,
can't help it.
Yeah, you know, and you don't want that happening.
No.
So you got to protect yourself. You know, you can't let yourself get down a bad path just because this girl doesn't have enough self-respect to get herself help.
Right. And you can't obsess over it and freak out over it and let this be a huge source of stress in your life.
Yeah.
It's not. This is like a vicious cycle. She has to get help.
It's hard when you care a lot, you know?
No.
Like take it on.
It is, but then you could be her only friend that's there to save her.
That's
so
a
it's
really heavy
an immediate
responsibility.
walk away is not. It shouldn't be an option, but I know it's difficult. So think about everything that we've said. I know it was a lot.
Lots of wisdom.
Okay. Do we have time for this last one? I think we can do a quickie.
I think so.
Okay.
All right, we'll make it quick.
This is from Ari. She says, I've known this girl, let's just call her Kim, since we were in grade school. A lot of people stay away from her because she gossips a lot and she's manipulative. Because I've known her for so long and she has been there when I needed her most, I've stuck by her side through it all. We now go to separate colleges and I've surrounded myself with such positive people that when I visit her during break, I can't help but notice what everyone hated her for. She's always trash talking everyone and everything wherever we go, and there's just no positive energy when I'm around her. She's been in my life for so long, I don't know what to do. I feel like this is I feel like everybody can relate.
I
to
relate.
This. We
100%.
all have someone like this.
And
How do you guys handle it?
Yeah, this is similar to someone I knew. We didn't live in the same area growing up. We always like visited them like during vacation. So we only saw like the vacation side of them, like the very happy, you know, like we like the honeymoon kind of thing. But yeah, like when I moved here and then I saw how they really were, it was like, you know, you've been with so much positive energy all your life and then when you see this, it kind of like, you got to pay attention to like like the people around you. If your energy drops, you have to pay attention to that because that's like an indicator that there's something wrong. And for me, that's how it was. And then I noticed that a lot of people around them with like, or they don't really have any friends, and then when we hear things about them, it's very similar to what we experience. So
Right.
for me, those type of people, cut them out.
I
Like,
think
seriously.
I think
They're not going to change. It's so hard, you know?
Well, you have to remember that people evolve, and like we're close to people at different points in our lives for different reasons. So you might be close to somebody in grade school, but you can go to college and you'll meet better people.
Yeah.
No,
And
yeah.
if you meet better people, then that's okay. That doesn't mean you got to stick with this girl just because she was in grade school. But
Yeah.
I do think it gets sticky. I understand it's hard when it's somebody who's been in your life for so long. I think it kind of depends on the extent to their reach in your life. Is this somebody who, okay, like I have friends who I've been friends with for so long, but I cut them out because I could. But then I have friends I've been friends with for so long who are little bitches sometimes, but I'm not going to cut them out. I have to figure out a different way to deal with them because our
No one's
families are
perfect.
connected.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, because like our siblings are friends,
Yeah.
and our moms and dads are friends. Like, so it's like not just me anymore. So I can't just cut you out and like it'd be done.
weird.
Right.
Like, I just need to find a way to not be close with you, but we have to be around each other.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
call those lunch
I
buddies. 'Cause
understand.
you'll go, like you don't do a long ass dinner. Lunch is like in the middle of the day. So you know, or maybe a snack buddy,
Snack
like,
buddy. Ice cream
a
buddy.
recess playmate.
This could be another episode, but like, for
Literally.
instance, like, the type of people you don't want to see for a long time. Like, you don't want to have a really long
Yeah.
date. Like, you want an ice cream date, right?
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
talking about this.
Are we gonna go for coffee, or we're gonna go out to Butcher's Daughter?
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause,
Right.
like, this is like funny because like, okay, this could be another episode, but like I was asking Kaylin and Christina today, what's a good first date? And they were like, okay, dinner you can't, because like if he's like creepy or like and you don't like him, you can't really escape, because what
No.
if he orders dessert, right?
Yeah.
So, but then if ice cream is like 15 minutes or like to an hour,
Yeah.
you can, like,
You can make it as long as you
Yeah,
want.
ice cream or
exactly.
coffee can be as short or as long as you want.
Exactly.
so with those type of people, I feel like those are like your ice cream buddies.
Yeah.
You want to have them in small doses to keep the
Yes.
to keep them in your life.
Literally, like I have someone who fits this to a T, who's in my life, and I love her, but she is just a terrible person. Just
Yeah.
like, she's rotten at the core. But like, I love her.
It's funny how there are people like that though, that are like bad people you still like love. Like you still have to
I
love
know.
them.
Yeah.
But it's like but it's like this. We go to separate colleges. We grew up together. I see her maybe once a year. Like we go to dinner or whatever, and she shit talks the whole time, and I think it's hilarious. And then we're done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
You
can't
know?
have it like every day though.
Yeah.
You
and-
can't
yeah.
you can't like stay emotionally attached. But also you're talking about this earlier, like what if this bitch is shit talking you? Like
Exactly.
is she
If she
trash
does it
talking
to everyone
you?
else,
Yeah.
she probably does it to you too.
Yeah. That's just such negative energy, like
That's
you were
what I
saying.
found,
That's
yeah.
just such
Well,
negative
that's
energy.
why for me, my decision to like cut them out, it was because it was affecting me, because they were starting drama where drama wasn't needed.
Yeah.
And when that's happening, that's not okay. When, Christina, your food smells so good.
I need to check on it.
It smells really good. It smells like fried chicken.
It smells good. I need to make dinner too. Ah.
So, my asparagus is burnt. So, whoops. So that's how I like it. I like it crispy. But yeah, so basically overall, I think that it kind of depends how close you are to her.
That's what I was
like
gonna say.
is this somebody who your families hang out and you guys are going to see
Are you
each
like
other?
sisters? You
Yeah.
know, like are you really, really
Yeah.
close?
If there's no ties except just you and her, then I would say cut her out.
Yeah.
It's
Not a
just
big
dead
deal.
weight. It's dead weight.
the
I'm sure you've met
ribbon.
better people. So
yeah.
focus on them. Focus on people who bring you up and make you happy and who are positive, and don't trash talk. That's just, we're not in the 6th grade anymore. Like you can talk about things that are more important, like what you're going to eat for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of food, let's sum this up.
Yeah, we're pretty fucking
It's
hungry.
not only people that are toxic. Like, it's not only, sorry, let's restart that. It's not only those packaged artificial foods that are bad for your body. It's also the people. So I think I've used that before, but I
come in
I
with
love
the
it.
quality metaphor.
True story.
Okay, so yeah, I liked this. Thank you for everybody who sent in stories. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Thanks for
kind
sharing.
of for
I
all
know.
of you, because you had
Sorry.
shitty stories. Unhealthy friendships suck, but hopefully we helped you out in some way.
I think a lot of the times you know the answer, you just don't want to admit it.
You just want to hear
yourself.
someone else say it.
Yeah. So hopefully
That's where we
helped
come in.
Yeah, if you guys have more stories, send them in. And if you have any random questions, any topics you want us to talk about, send it in. You can email us actuallyadultish@gmail.com. You can go to our website and you can submit it anonymously if you want, actuallyadultish.com. You can tweet us at actuallyadult. You can send us a Facebook message, facebook.com/actuallyadultish. Or I think that's it. Make sure that you subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or both if you haven't already. And if you like this, please leave a rating and review. It means a lot. And please tell your friends and your family to listen. That's kind of how we spread the word around here. Gotta do it, grassroots style. So yeah, thanks for hanging in there this long, and we will talk to you again next week. Bye.